It's early June in 2007 and prices in Zimbabwe are at an all-time high. Instant coffee is selling for over $1 million Zimbabwe dollars a jar, roughly $2 US, and a small bag of tomatoes costs around $33,000.
One donut is $16,000.
But Zimbabweans pay the high prices, blaming the runaway economy and the worthless currency. Abruptly, the Zimbabwean government, through its state-controlled media outlets, claims it has found the reason behind the country's inflation. It blames the entire problem on business owners, who it says have been profiteering.
You want to stop this thing that you're doing here.
As the country's vice president labels them economic saboteurs, the government orders the prices of everything slashed by 50% and deeper in some cases. Police are issued orders to enforce the price cuts and jail any business owners who refuse to comply. The result is confusion, as you can see from this undercover video taken at a store in the second largest city, Bulawayo. Hordes of Zimbabweans rush to the shops to buy everything they can for the reduced prices. They stand in line for hours for the cheap goods. But weeks later, in early July, the operation has lost its luster. This butchery, whose cold rooms were filled with meat at the beginning of the price controls, has now run out. The owner cannot afford to buy anymore. Closed doors, bankrupt businesses, thousands of business owners jailed. They cannot afford to replace their stock at the stipulated prices. Inflation worsens and the people outside are hungry. This video, shot from one of Bulawayo's high-rise buildings, shows a seething, agitated crowd of people waiting for a delivery of sugar. Fights break out and eventually the riot police are called. Across town, 2 people are killed at another shop by a stampede of people running to get sugar. Back at the butchery, customers wait in line for a small ration of beef. The owner had to close the doors for fear of a riot. Patrons are only allowed in 10 at a time. They shout at the shop workers, waving their 100,000 Zim dollar notes. Afterwards, we speak with the owner, who wishes to remain anonymous.
If they come through, you're not going to stop them. And then what are they going to do when they get through anyway? They're angry. Those people weren't... those people were screaming and shouting, and only when the riot police came and sorted them out did they get into the queue.
He explains how the police, called to calm the crowd, pushed to the front of the line to get the meat themselves.
Because they are coming in first, buying the meat, and then they disappear and they leave us with the crowd.
Officers also demanded free meat at other times as bribes to leave the shop owners alone. The government claims that the price control operation is a success.
The prices must be affordable prices, and the people will buy. If the people are ill-treated by suppliers, producers and suppliers, we intervene as government.
In August, state media televised the nation's famous agricultural show, with Mr. Mugabe posing with farm animals. Critics called this a crude attempt to divert the country's attention from its real problems. But the lines of people outside stores tell a different story. In late September, faced with a hungry, angry population, some prices were allowed to rise incrementally. But many businesses simply cannot afford to restock their shelves. With goods people cannot afford to buy.